All right. So, here we're just gonna introduce a couple of the math and science competitions throughout the year that are pretty prestigious and will be good to attend. So the first one is going to be the HMMT or the Harvard MIT Math Tournament. Now, there are two opportunities to take this test. Once in November, which is located at Harvard, and once in February, which is at MIT. So, who is this contest available for and how do you enter? It's primarily focused for middle and high school students, with most of the participants being high schoolers, but there are a couple of advanced middle schoolers who choose to take this test as well. The registration is usually in September, and window between, there's typically a 3-week window during September. Last year, it was up until around September 22nd. Now, once you apply, you have to confirm that you will be attending by October 5th if you wish to go to the November tournament, and by you have to confirm by November 16th if you wish to attend the 2025 the February tournament. Now, one caveat is that even if you've done this tournament in previous years, you still have to reapply for the tournament every year, and you aren't guaranteed entry just because you went to a previous year. Additionally, since there is only a limited number of teams that can participate each year, the teams and individuals who enter are also picked via a random lottery. Now, if your team placed in the top 30 for the same tournament in previous years, you're put into a special lottery, and it is a different scenario. Now, these two tournaments have a couple of differences. As I mentioned, the November one, most of the takes place at Harvard, whereas during the February one, the testing takes place at MIT. But during both, there are some networking and other fun activities the night before, which are at the other campus on Friday night. Now, for the November tournament, teams are restricted to have either from 4 to 6 participants, whereas during the February event, teams can have 6 to 8 participants. Now, the November contest is typically quite a bit easier than the February contest, as with the November contest, most problems range from the difficulty of mid AMC problems to upper AMI problems, whereas in the February contest, most problems range from mid AMI level to Olympiad, such as USAMO level problems. The registration fee is $80 per team and $10 if you wish to apply as an individual, in which case you will be placed into a random team. Now, oh wait. As for the actual competition, both contests have an individual round, a team round, and a guts round. Now, for the individual round in November, everybody is required to take two tests, the general round and theme round, where all cover all four typical competitive math topics, which are geometry, algebra, number theory, and combinatorics. But the theme round typically centers around one theme. Now, this theme isn't necessarily one mathematical topic. It can be something like, problems that say Alice and Bob, but there is usually a general theme. Now, as I mentioned before, these problems are typically mid AMC 10/12 to upper AME level problems. For the individual round at the February contest, you have three separate individual tests: algebra, geometry, and combinatorics. Like the November tournament, every single round has 10 problems and gives 50 minutes to solve the questions. And as I mentioned previously, these questions are around mid-AME to USUMO level. Now, additionally, in the February contest, the algebra round also contains number theory, but it's just called algebra. Both tests also have team rounds, which are each 60 minutes and contain 10 problems. In the November contest, the problem difficulty is similar to the individual rounds, maybe a little bit harder, but the answering is mostly the same. You just write down a number. However, for the February contest, this team round requires full proofs, meaning you have to be familiar with how to write these proofs, and these problems are also much harder and can range to high level USMO problems. Now, lastly, both tournaments have a guts round, which is 80 minutes and 36 questions. For this round, each team takes a set of however many problems, and once they turn them in, moves on to the next set of problems. In November, this is split up into 12 sets of 3 problems, but in the February contest, you have 9 sets of 4 problems. Once again, the February contest just has harder problems than the November contest, but both of these have a lot more team strategy and follow a different format from traditional individual and team rounds. Now, there are some other rules and other restrictions on the tournament. You must bring an adult chaperone for every team you have to supervise, and they must be present at the tournament because they may be asked to help proctor other teams. So, if one organization were to send 2 teams, they would need to bring 2 chaperones who would have to serve as proctors. Each competitor also can only take one tournament. They can only either participate in November or February for a given season, meaning from the 2025 to 2026 season, you can either take November or February. If your school has a team and that school team submits an application, you must participate on that school team and cannot attend with an outside of school team like a club team. Additionally, you can only belong to one organization for any given season. There are more details on the official HMMT website where you can access previous tests, answers, results, and you can register. If you have any other questions, you can either ask me and like you can reach out to me at my email, or you can email the official HMMT team at request@hmmt.org. Um, if there are no questions, I guess we can move on to the next competition.
All right, let's get started on introducing our next competition. My name is Grace. I'm the director of the biology division in Logistem and one of the main organizers for the Logistem Science Challenger this year. So I'll be introducing the competition. So who is this competition for? It's for all students in grades 3 through 8, and the competition is completely online, so there's no worries about travel or travel costs or any kind of scheduling issues in that sense. What is it? So each student in those grades will be split up into 3 divisions, and within each division, your student has the choice of 2 out of 3 total subjects for an initial written round. So you can choose from either physical science, life science, or earth science and astronomy. You'll take these, they'll be posted a PDF of questions and you'll complete them. And out of those questions, the top 10 high scores will compete in a live countdown round of questions of mixed subjects. So when is it? The competition is on Sunday, June 8th. It should run from 1 to 4:30 p.m., but sometimes countdowns will run longer, like depending on tiebreakers or certain things like that. Why should you participate? This is a great opportunity to put your science knowledge and skills to the test, and competitions are always fun. You get to see the results of all the hard work you've put in. And of course, there's a chance to win awards and prizes from our sponsors. This year, we're hoping to have Wolfram Alpha and more to come. In past years, some examples, just so you have a reference, we've had sponsors like AOPS, Jane Street, and Wolfram Alpha. How do you register? So there's a Google form link, and I'll send the link to this Google form in the chat as well. So you should just sign up for your child and you can pre-select which subjects you want to take your test in through that Google form. And for any other information, you can also check out Logistem to see about the competition or any of our other events and activities at www.logistem.club. All right, now we'll move on to our next competition.
All right. Okay, so the final one we're going to be covering is the Gauss Math Tournament. Um, I'll be presenting it. My name is Wesley. I'm the Associate Director of Math and the Director of Outreach at LodgeSTEM. And yeah, let's just get right into it. So first of all, this tournament is going to be taking place on June 7th from 1 to 4:30 EST. So that's just a day before the Science Challenger. So who can participate? It's also for grades 3 to 8. However, this time it's split up into three divisions. So Division 1 is going to be 3 and 4th grade. Division 2 is 5th to 6th grade. And Division 3 is 7th to 8th grade. Now, the difficulty levels, um, although it's not set in stone, I want to say that Division 3 to 4 is going to be, or Division 1 is going to be about early AMC 8 level. So maybe like up to question 15 or 20 level. Um, Division 2 is going to be harder AMC 8 and maybe like early AMC 10 level. And then Division 3 is obviously the hardest and it's going to be AMC 10 to 12 to mid AME level. So the questions are pretty intense for the grade levels, so it's gonna be a pretty nice contest and good competition. And it's also hosted online, so there's no need to travel or anything to participate. You can just log into the Zoom meeting and do it from your home. So for the contest format, there are 3 rounds. Everyone takes everyone participates in 2 of the rounds, which is the sprint and the target round. So the sprint round is 50 minutes and has 40 questions. Pretty much it's designed to test speed and how accurate you can be under time pressure because 50 minutes for 40 questions is really not a lot of time. So it's really testing you how fast you can crank out questions with good accuracy. Next is a target round. It's a little different format. It's 20 minutes, 8 questions. Each of these questions is weighted more than the sprint round questions. Um, and as you can probably tell, this round concentrates on deeper thinking in the questions. The questions are generally a little harder and require a little bit, a few more steps than the sprint round questions. And then your score will take into account both the sprint round and the target round score. And based on that score, the top 10 scorers will advance to the countdown round. And the countdown round is a lot like math counts, if you've ever seen math counts countdown, but pretty much the top 10 people, they'll take turns going 1v1, and they will have to, a question will be displayed on the screen, and they will have to do their best to answer it before the other person. Um, three three questions will be played per pair, and the person who wins the majority of the questions will win that pairing and move 1 spot up. And we do this until the pair is until everyone has played rounds, and our final standing may be altered from the original top 10. And that is going to be what the final scores are. So now, why should you join the GMT? Well, first of all, this contest is extremely recognized and very prestigious. It has been running since 2013, so many years it has been running, and it's been growing ever since then. The participants are all extremely high caliber, so there's going to be good competition, which means that you'll likely improve a lot by participating in this contest. A lot of the participants are JMO qualifiers, and they're all people that compete on a national level, very regularly. In 2024 or last year, we even had 300 participants, and we only expect that number to keep going up. And finally, the